All right, so we hope you're in the right place. This is an orientation and a webinar on the digital skills career certificates offered by the Harvard Division of Continuing Education, as well as by Pathstream. And so a couple of introductions that we want to do. But before that, our agenda for today, what we hope to cover is we're going to talk a little bit about what Pathstream is, what our certificates are, and kind of what is covered in each of our certificates so that you can make a decision about whether this program is right for you. And then we're also going to do a very quick demo of the learning platform. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to be a student, and then we'll do a Q&A at the very end. So a couple of introductions. Linda, I'll let you introduce yourself to the group.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Linda Cross. I'm the director of the professional development programs at the Division of Continuing Education at Harvard. So thrilled to see so many people here from, as Lauren said, from around the world. This is really exciting. I've been affiliated with the division for more than 30 years, serving in a variety of capacities, most recently as the director. My background's in journalism, public relations, and management, and I apply it daily for working with my growing team. And thrilled to be partnered with Pathstream and seeing your interest here. So,
thank you, Linda. All right, so my name is Lauren Pizer. I am the VP of Learning Experience and a co-founder at Pathstream, so have been a part of Pathstream for many, many years at this point, and I'm going to be able to talk to you about our programs, what they offer, why they are different from other programs that are out there, and help you to understand if it's the right fit for you. But I've been in education for over 11 years, and I've played a role in designing all of these certificates. I'm also joined by my coworker, Brooke, who will introduce herself as well.
Thanks, Lauren. My name is Brooke Haig, and I actually started my career as a physicist and very interested in science education. I got very interested in educational technology and in fact went back to school. I got a degree in educational technology from Harvard, and then I went on to really take a deep dive into online education, worked with MIT, built some massive online courses, and transitioned into a career at Microsoft for a few years, looking at the business side of education and online learning and thinking about certifications and thinking about, how do we help folks upskill into technical careers. And most recently, I've had the amazing opportunity to join the learning design team at Pathstream, where I work with Lauren as a technical learning designer. So I'll hand it back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Brooke. All right, so let's get into it. What is Pathstream? And I'll have Linda talk a little bit about why Pathstream and Harvard's Division of Continuing Education have decided to partner together on these programs.
Sure, thanks, Lauren. So we partner with Pathstream to deliver the digital skills certificate programs designed to meet the evolving needs of both employees in the marketplace and as well as employers, and where things are very competitive now, we really thought that they had the content that best matched with what we were interested in. We chose Pathstream because of the quality of their program and their strong delivery model. Pathstream shares Harvard's philosophy about the importance of delivering an engaging experience, which is facilitated by instructors, which are provided by Harvard Division of Continuing Ed. The certificate programs that we're offering with Pathstream feature continually updated curriculum, which is important to us. It's in collaboration with industry experts such as Asana and Facebook and Salesforce. And the instructors that we've selected to bring the subject matter expertise and practical real-world experience to the programs are among the best. Our goal is to provide students the right tools and credentials from our institution to achieve your desired career outcomes.
Thank you, Linda. Great. Okay, so you are here today because you know that there is a skill out there that maybe you want to bring into your toolkit, that you want to bring into your profession. And we have seen this demand growing in the job market, right? So 80% of middle skills jobs are requiring digitally intensive software skills. And so we're seeing more and more of today's jobs requiring a set of skills that are really critical for upskilling in the job market. And so all of our programs that are offered today, the Facebook Digital Marketing Certificate, the Salesforce Administrator Certificate, and the Asana Project Management Certificate are equipping you with this set of digital skills that will help you to either up-level in your current role or transition to a completely different role if that is what your goal is. But we're really creating programs to fit the modern day economy and the different trends that we're seeing in the job market today. So all of our certificates, which we're talking about today, are preparing you for a growing career area. And we're going to talk a little bit about that growth that we're seeing in each of these areas. But you will graduate with a certificate from the Harvard Division of Continuing Education Professional Development Programs after these 3 courses. And there is also a set of very robust career services that are provided to you after your certificate that really help you to make whatever goal you have for your career come true, whether that's a promotion or a completely new role. So again, this career services we're going to talk about a little bit, but it's a real differentiator of this program. So when you come into a Pathstream course, you're going to enter a learning platform where you are going to actually practice the tool that you would have to use on the job inside of the classroom. So for example, in our Salesforce program, it's no surprise that you are using Trailhead, you are using Salesforce Lightning Cloud, you are using all of the different tools in Salesforce that you would need to use as an administrator or a sales ops specialist inside of the course. And you're actually going to be graded on your performance in those tools as part of the experience. So as I mentioned, you will have these hands-on experiences and projects and what we call labs that really mirror the real world. And you will also get personalized feedback from your Harvard instructor that really helps you to improve, that will help you to understand kind of how this applies in industry, and just get that personalized feedback from somebody that has done this role and really understands the industry. So I mentioned these career services, and I want to do a little double click on those right now. So throughout the course, you will see different videos from experts, and you will see curriculum embedded that talks about kind of the job and what tasks and responsibilities and skills are needed. But when you get to the final course, there's much more personalized coaching. And so you will meet with your one-on-one coach, and you will do a review of your resume, a review of your LinkedIn. We will be able to give you mock interviews that help you to prepare for the job, some of which are technical. So you'd be asked some of the technical questions that would be asked in interviews. And we will also refer you to our employer partners and really just help you to kind of round out your job application so that you can kind of bring your skills into the job market efficiently and effectively. And so this is something that happens during the final course, and it's a part of the program. You do not pay any extra for this. This is part of being a student in this program. So I'm getting a message that I'm breaking up, but I'm gonna look at the chat and see if I'm breaking up to Brooke or Linda. Am I okay right now to you guys? Okay, we'll continue to monitor that. Thanks for bringing it up, Shah. So we have 3 programs that we're talking about today. The first is the Facebook Digital Marketing Certificate, which you are learning how to be, so you're sort of learning the basics of digital marketing in a business context, but then you're also learning very critical tools like Facebook Ads Manager and Google Analytics, which are these tools that are used in digital marketing contexts. And so it's a really great introduction to the field, but then also a lot of tool-based learning about how to bring campaigns to life using the tools that are out there today. The Salesforce Career Certificate includes a lot of customizations, reporting configurations, Sales Cloud and Lightning Cloud, and really teaching you the ins and outs of Salesforce in a business context. And the third certificate is our Asana Project Management Certificate, which covers the basics of project management, which is a growing field and is pretty much applicable in any job today. So you can't really go wrong with project management, but it's using spreadsheets, Google tools, as well as Asana to teach people about project plans, risk mitigation, project charters, and all of the lingo that's used in project management today. All right, so a couple of basic details that I want to make sure everybody understands as they're coming into this webinar. So each of our certificates has 3 courses, and they will take you 18 weeks total to complete all 3 of the courses. You can you can talk to your instructor about moving a little bit faster if you want to do that. But in general, our students spend 18 weeks completing this program. And this is what we called self-paced or flexibly paced, which means that you do not have to log in at a specific time each week to get content or lectures. All of that is inside of the custom learning platform that I mentioned, but your instructor is there to guide you. So it's up to you if you want to, log in on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday to do your work, or just Saturday and Sunday. But we have provided you with that instructor to give you the support to answer questions, to meet you for office hours or meetings, to grade your projects and really provide you with that support throughout the experience. But this is, built for working adults that have responsibilities, they have family, right? There's a lot of things going on. And so we really want this program to fit into your lives. You will also earn a certificate, as I mentioned, that comes from the professional development programs. It comes from Harvard's Division of Continuing Education, which is a really strong signal in the market, right? You will have that access to these Harvard instructors. You will have this experience. And so that's an incredibly valuable credential in the job market today. So a couple of really quick testimonials. I always like to show this because it matters what I have to say, but it matters maybe a little bit more what students have to say about their experience in a Pathstream program. So we get a lot of compliments on the labs. Students really love to learn the actual tool themselves instead of watching a video about a tool that they're going to have to use on the job. That's not relevant, and that's not real world. So we really bring the real world into the classroom, and our students really love that. We also really break down the material to what you need to know to get the job, right? We're not providing you with way too much material or way too little material. We are providing you with just the right amount of material to reach your career goal. And we have seen incredible success stories. Brooke can post some of those success stories into the chat, but we have just seen such incredible outcomes from our programs. So, we want to share this with you as well. So let's go a little bit deeper into each of our certificates so that I can kind of answer any specific questions you have about these programs as you're deciding. So the Salesforce Administrator Career Certificate is meeting a very large industry demand here. You can see that there are 3 million job postings for CRM Administrator just in the last 12 months, and we are seeing a projected growth of 30% in the next 10 years. So there is jobs that are titled Salesforce Administrator, but there are also so many jobs that require CRM. Those might not be called Salesforce Administrator. They might be called Sales Ops Manager or Sales Specialist or just a CRM specialist, right? So there are so many roles out there that require this very, very critical skill set. Obviously, many of you know you're here, you know this is an important skill set. So it's meeting a really significant demand. But through this program, you would be prepared for Salesforce Administrator roles, sales reps, lots of different types of roles with CRM. And we see our students kind of pursuing internships, applying this skill set to their current job, getting a promotion, changing jobs, or really being prepared for that certified Salesforce Administrator credential exam. So for people that don't know this, Salesforce, the company, offers an exam on their website that's hosted by them. And you actually have to go to a testing center for it, but it's an exam that is another really strong signal in the market of your Salesforce skills. And so our program is preparing you for that exam. So by taking this program and doing a little bit of studying, which is always a good idea, you are prepared to pass that exam, and you will receive a discount on that exam by enrolling in this program. You do not have to take this exam. It is just an optional exam that you can choose to take if you'd like. So some people may be wondering what a Salesforce admin is, and this is a really good question because it's a job title that's really only come up in the last several years with the emergence and the proliferation of Salesforce in the job market. So a Salesforce administrator manages relationships with customers on behalf of a business. And they do this by automating processes, by creating a custom flow for clients and for customers to move through a sales cycle. They create dashboards, they create reports that really help the rest of the company to make decisions to optimize business process and business efficiency. And so you might have seen a Salesforce admin role posted, but there are also junior Salesforce admins or Salesforce associates. There's all types of roles that use this skill set. But here are some of kind of the skills and day-to-day responsibilities that a Salesforce admin does. So I always like to say this about Salesforce, and it's actually true of every single one of our programs. Salesforce administrators are needed in nearly every field. So from healthcare to education to sports to energy, like there is no field that doesn't use Salesforce. And so this is what we call kind of like a no regrets skill set, because it's used across so many industries, and adding this to your toolkit is never a bad thing because of just how frequently and how commonly businesses are using Salesforce. Another question we sometimes get is, well, what if the company I go to doesn't use Salesforce? And Salesforce is sort of the number one CRM, so it's likely that they will, or that you might bring that CRM to the company. But we work with students all the time that end up using other platforms at their companies. And the point is that we teach you the underlying ways that a CRM works. We happen to teach you through Salesforce, but you're understanding, oh, this is how a CRM can be used to increase business efficiency. And you can take that tool to lots of other businesses and lots of other different CRMs out there. So we're really teaching you the underlying foundational knowledge. So for people that want really specific information, here's a slide that shows the learning outcomes, or what you will learn in each of the 3 courses for the Salesforce certificate. So I'm not going to read these all, but you'll see some keywords like Salesforce, Sales Cloud, Lightning, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. These are things that you see on job descriptions that you might be curious, do we teach? So the first is much more of an introductory course, but you can see it scaffolds up until you're doing really advanced topics and advanced customizations and processes in Salesforce. All right, so let's talk about Facebook digital marketing. So again, significant demand in the industry because pretty much all marketing expenditures now are going towards digital marketing instead of traditional marketing. So businesses today need professionals that understand how digital works and the tools and just frankly, the know-all for how you can run effective campaigns. So this certificate is really preparing you for digital marketing coordinator, marketing specialist, social media manager roles, right? You can imagine that you might see social media roles, you might see just generalist roles in digital marketing. This is really going to prepare you for any of those roles. We see our students pursuing internships, especially like a lot of students apply this to their own job or even their own company. We see a lot of students that have their own companies, they're entrepreneurial, they want to learn how to bring digital marketing into their business. And again, the learning outcomes for this certificate, for those that want that additional detail, the first course is going into a lot of business topics and marketing topics like a SWOT analysis, the 4 Ps, value propositions, customer journey maps, user personas, right? So this is like a very valuable business skill set. And then we start going deeper into marketing analytics, which is one of the fastest growing aspects of digital marketing. And then the third course is focused on social media marketing, which is, we all know, king right now. All right, so our last certificate we're going to go through in detail is the Asana Project Management Certificate. So last 12 months, almost as many Salesforce jobs as Asana jobs, right? 2.8 million job postings for project management. And we're again seeing a high projected growth. And as I said about the other certificates, I will really hammer home with this one. This is a complete no regret skill set. I use project management in my role. Brooke, Linda, I'm sure you guys use it in your roles as well. This is a widely applicable skill set. And we teach you how to do this with spreadsheets and with Asana. And if your organization doesn't use Asana, that's totally okay, because we're teaching you how to make a project charter, how to make a Gantt chart, how to do waterfall type methodologies using a particular tool. But you can use any tool in industry to do that, depending on what your company uses and what you want to use. But again, roles, project manager, program manager, program coordinator. There's so many roles that encompass this skill set. Last thing I want to mention here is that you may have heard of an exam called the CAPM exam. That is like the Salesforce exam, an industry exam. You need to sign up and pay for it separately. But by taking our certificate, you are prepared for that exam. So you're sort of hitting 2 birds with 1 stone here. You've got the certificate from the Harvard Division of Continuing Education, and you can go sit for this exam to have that dual credential. Asana is not, I see a question right here. I'm just going to address it. Asana is not associated with PMI. Usually PMI does not form relationships with individual technology providers, but we do qualify as being an education provider with PMI. So you can sit for that exam after taking our certificate. Again, you can see here the learning outcomes for each of our 3 courses in project management. We always start with a foundation here, and then we go into project planning, risk management, quality assurance, integration management, all of these kind of technical terms, but they all surround how do you effectively manage a project from start to finish. Okay, so I'm going to switch around my screens a little bit here, which always is a little complicated, but I want to show you what this is going to look like if you enroll in this program and you are a student in this program. So what you'll see right here on my screen is this is the Pathstream platform. So as Linda mentioned, you have your instructor, but you're going to come into Pathstream to do your work and to do your projects that your instructor grades. And so you can see here that these are kind of all the lessons you will have to complete in the first project management certificate, in the first course in the project management certificate. And your instructor is going to get in touch with you frequently and say, okay, we're in week 4 of this certificate. I want you to do section 4, project basics, and section 5, project initiation, right? So your instructor is effectively pacing you so that you can complete this program in 18 weeks. But it's up to you when you log in and do the work. And that's the great part of this. And that really is what fits into a lot of people's lives. So let's go into one of these lessons. So this is the first time we introduce Asana to students. So you can see that the lesson is laid out with all of your learning objectives at the top, so you know what you're going to learn. And our Pathstream learning design is really about having text, but also visual and videos and different ways for you to learn, because we know that there are different ways that people like to digest information. So you can take screenshots of this information. You can download the videos. You have access to this material. And we have what we call little knowledge checks. So this is a little mini quiz. It is not graded, but it allows you to assess yourself and say, did I understand what I just learned, instead of just passively sitting back and reading and watching videos, right? We know that that is not the most effective way to learn. So we want you leaning in and reading and watching something, but then very quickly applying it. So here's an example of a video. This one happens to be from Asana. So when we get down to the bottom of this lesson, we have what we call this is called an Asana sandbox, but what this is a lab. And I was mentioning that hands-on component to our certificates. So when you click Launch Lab here, what's going to come up on your screen, which I'm going to switch out my share so that you can see this again. So let's do a new share. So what you're going to see here is what we call this lab. Okay, so what's happening right here is you have Asana loading up on the right-hand side of the screen. And it's going to take a minute because I am screen sharing. I've got a background. I got 50,000 tabs open. But you'll see here that Asana is loading up here, okay? And so I can press on this. I have a premium account with Asana by being a student, which means that this is a paid version that I get for free. And I can totally manipulate Asana and follow the directions on the left-hand side of the screen here. So this is kind of an opportunity for you to learn by doing, which we know is the most effective way to learn. And so this is how you will do labs, which are traditionally not graded. These are just practices, but your projects, which are graded, will also be done in a very similar format to this. Okay, and you'll be able to actually submit screenshots and files from Asana to your instructor for grading. So it's a really efficient way to learn that brings the sort of job tasks directly into the classroom. So with that said, I'm going to be conscious of your time. I've got a little bit more information that I want to share with you, which I'm going to do right now. And then we're going to take questions. So start thinking about any questions that you might have. But I'd like to flash up this another additional slide that really kind of helps to answer lingering questions. But, financing is a big question that many students have, and we understand that. So the total cost of the program, of each of these programs, is $35.28. So that is for the 18-week experience, $35.28. And you can pay in full, or you can use a 6 or 18-month installment plan that is interest-free. You can also and should also consider seeking reimbursement from your employer. We have many of our students in the classroom today that have gotten this whole program or part of the program paid for by their employer. Because many employers today, they're trying to retain their talent, as they should, right? So they offer many perks and benefits around education to their employees. So it's always worth asking. And even if there's not a stated policy, ask. There might be an exception that can be made, right? Or an unofficial policy that exists. Our programs are designed for full-time working adults, but if you are not full-time or working, that's okay, because you can talk to your instructor about going a little bit faster. And this is also something that you can pace throughout the next couple of weeks and months, which I think is a really effective way to learn instead of sort of cramming it in, right? So there's really great ways to fit this into your life. And there are no prerequisites for this program, which means that you do not need to know what Salesforce is or what Ads Manager is to do this program. We really just want you to have a high school diploma or an equivalent and be excited to learn something new. That's really all that we ask. So I am going to put this last slide up and then take a look at the Q&A, but our next program starts on January 31st. Many of you are here. We see there's so many people here today, probably because we are entering 2022, right? New year, new you. This is the time to invest in yourself and think about what your educational goals are. And we are here to help you to do that, right? So we want to see you in the classroom starting on January 31st. We hope this information was helpful, but I want to make sure I'm getting all the questions in the chat. There is no small question. You can even ask questions anonymously. So I'll give everybody a couple minutes to do that. Yes. Okay. So I see a couple questions coming in. Gabriel has a question about when we would be able to watch this meeting again. So we have a recording, and I believe it's going to be sent to you within 24 hours. So we'll make sure that that gets to you, but it has all the information you need. And if anything is not answered by that recording, there's an email address here, harvardpdpcerts@pathstream.com. And we have an amazing team that can answer any and all questions that you have and even get on the phone with you. All right, so we have a really good question here about the support options for students struggling with the curriculum. And this is a really, really thoughtful question because everybody's a different learner. Some of you, maybe this is your first time in the classroom in many, many years, right? And so maybe you've never taken an online course before. One thing I'll say about this program is that it has an instructor. Many programs out there online have no instructor. You're just contacting technical support, right? When something goes wrong. But you actually have a human being that can answer your emails, that can meet with you on a weekly basis if that's what you need, that's providing a grading for your work, right? Feedback, comments. So the fact that you're having an instructor present is one way that we help you, right? But what's great about this curriculum is that we have built this for a new learner in mind. So when you go into the curriculum and you see it, and Brooke can attest to this, we don't go in and just start talking about advanced topics. That's not how we've designed this. We know that some people are coming in with no previous background on this, and we want you to feel welcome because this is a new space, this is a new field that you're transitioning into. If you know some of these terms, you can read a little bit faster, right? But for those that need that extra support, there are cheat sheets, there are handouts, there are little things embedded in the experience that help you to slow down and help you revisit the material and go at your own pace. And your instructor will work with you. If you need an extension, if you need more than 18 weeks, I guarantee you that they want you to be successful and they will help you to do that. Okay. I have a scheduled vacation. This is a good question from Patricia, from February 5th to the 10th, but but you might want to begin on January 31st. So how would I be affected if I take this scheduled time off? Yeah, so first of all, that's not a huge vacation. That's just a couple days. And what's great about this program is that you can just catch up, right? You might do a little bit extra before you go or a little bit extra when you get back, but you will have a relationship with your instructor. And if you need a little extra access, they can give you that. So we will work with your schedule is the short answer. And it's really about you reaching out proactively to your instructor about that. Because as I said, you don't have to log in on February 1st, 5th, and 10th to get the material. It's all inside of the Pathstream platform. So it's just about you to schedule yourself. Yeah, so Joy, will you send another link of where to sign up for the program? So after this webinar, you're going to get an email from us. Anybody that registered for this event will get an email with a link of where to sign up with this email address, the next start date. So some of that information will come to you in an email, and we will make sure that you get that. Okay, we did that one. Thomas, thank you for the very straightforward and comprehensive explanation. Thank you, Thomas. We hope to see you in the classroom. We have, I love our project management certificate. I think it is best in class. And so I'm glad that that one's interesting to you. Is there a scholarship option for financially disadvantaged students? So right now, what we have here, let me put that slide up again. The best way to get the flexibility in terms of payment is to use one of these 6 or 18-month installment plans. And when I say interest-free, it means that you're not going to be upcharged for using an installment plan, right? You're going to pay $35.28 divided over 18 months, and there's not going to be extra fees added in there. So I'm not the best at math, so I can't do that math in my head, but that comes out to an amount that I hope is a little bit more financially manageable to you in the program. So take advantage of that option. I really recommend that. And also, if you are employed, Bashir, I would really recommend talking to your employer. Even if they don't have a plan that they state, they may be willing to do this kind of as an exception to help you pay for part of the program.
Lauren, there are quite a few questions in the chat.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, getting over there. Somebody I think put the math in there for me. Thank you. I don't have certification fee. I don't understand the question, Irfan. So I want you to write that one again and clarify so that I make sure I get that answered. So there's a good question in here about the length of time that you have to access the material after the class is over. So this is a great question. You will have 60 days of course access after you earn the certificate. So you're going to get access to the material for, about 2 months after the course ends. So you can use that time to take some notes, to download some material, but you do have access after you complete the certificate. There are no courses on campus at Harvard for this program. This is a fully remote online experience. Does the project management program also include Agile and Scrum methodology? That's a really, really good question. So we mention and we define and talk about Agile and Scrum, but this 3-course option does not go into depth on Agile or Scrum. We focus squarely on the fundamentals of project management to get kind of a traditional project management role, but there are ways that you can kind of upskill with some of the material in the course where we point you to other places for some of that material. How does Learn with Doing work for the Facebook program? Great question. So the Facebook program uses Google Analytics. It uses all the Microsoft or all the Google products like Sheets and presentations. And it also uses Facebook Ads Manager, which is the premier platform for launching ads on social media. And so those are the Learn by Doing tools that you will use in the Facebook program. And as part of the program, you will actually launch an ad using Facebook Ads Manager as part of that 3rd course on social media. Is this a good certificate for consultants? I own a communications firm. Yeah, so it depends a little bit on exactly what you do and which certificate you are interested in. But as I said, this is one of those skill sets that is applicable across industries. So if you help people with project management in the construction business, there is skill sets that you can bring to helping people with project management in the education sector, right? This sort of traverses and transcends various sectors. is there a large project or exam at the end of the program? So what I love about our certificates is that the projects do not all come at the end, and you are not going to be graded on an exam, because that is not how the real world works. You don't get exams in your job, most likely. So what I want to stress here is that you're going to be doing projects throughout the 18 weeks of your certificate program, and you'll get feedback from your instructor as you go. And that is the majority of your grade, is the projects. We have a couple of multiple choice quizzes, but that's a very small portion of your grade. Okay. Does each certificate course, so Robert, that's a good clarification. I want to make sure it's clear. The project management certificate, the Facebook certificate, the Salesforce certificate, each of those is 18 weeks total. So each course ends up being 6 weeks each, because there's 3 courses, 6 times 3.
Lauren, I think that's the sort of top of the list, but there are a couple that ended up, there are a couple new ones at the bottom of the chat.
Okay, we'll get there too. So Mark asked a question about a campus portal for assignments. Yeah, so that's the Pathstream platform. That's what I shared screen on. That's where you're going to submit your assignments. And that's also where you're going to see your feedback from your instructor. So that's the portal, more or less, where you are going to submit assignments and see assignments. It's not being sent over email or anything like that. It's all through that portal.
Lauren, let me also say that we do use Canvas internally, so it will be a combination of the two.
That's right, Linda. So that you will log into Canvas, which is a very common tool. It's very easy to use if you've never used it. And then through that, you will link out into Pathstream and kind of go back and forth between those two. So if you want, I think the question from Irfan was about the certification fee for the CAPM exam and for the Salesforce exam. So those range anywhere from like, $100 to $300, those exams. For the Salesforce exam, we provide you with a voucher for 50% off of the Salesforce exam. We don't have a voucher for the CAPM exam, but this is something that likely they may have an installment plan, or they may have some other way that they can help you pay for that on their website. But that's sort of a separate process from our programs. Okay. Is there an exam for digital marketing? There are Google Analytics exams and what's called a Facebook Blueprint exam that you can take. But Salesforce and project management, those exams are much bigger exams. So there are exams for digital marketing. They're just not as industry-wide exams, but there are ones, and we provide information about that in the course. Okay, so just going back to the chat really quick, going back to the Q&A, are the projects during the courses real projects or case studies? So this varies. In some of the projects, you are given a case that is based on a real situation, but we've changed the name of the company, or we've changed details to anonymize it. In other projects, you're actually using a company of your choice, especially in the digital marketing program, which I think is a really effective way, because you could use your own business, you could use the company you work for. There's a lot of options there. Okay, so I think is there an exam done? Are the career opportunities great enough to open the job market for those of us who have retired or are coming back into the workforce? Is age a detriment to getting a job? So Patricia, I see this question all the time. And I think that I don't want to sugarcoat it. It is a little bit harder if you have already had a career and now you're trying to launch a new career, right? That's not easy for anybody, regardless of age. I do think that when I work, so I do career coaching as well. And I work with many of our students in career coaching. And I think the only thing I've seen is that sometimes some of our older students, they have to spend a little bit longer trying to get a job and getting into the industry. They have to do more networking. There's just a little bit more work that's needed to overcome some of the age barriers that we just naturally are unfortunately seeing in the job market, but it is absolutely possible. We see it all the time. There's just a couple extra steps you need to take. Okay, Brooke, how am I doing in the chat?
I think you're great. I think you have answered everything in the Q&A and the chat.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I'll give it another 30 seconds because sometimes last questions sneak in and I want to make sure that you all have what you need to make this decision for yourself. January 31st, just putting that slide back up here, is coming up. And again, because you attended this and signed up, you will get an email with more information on how to enroll in this program. But just double checking here, great information. Oh, amazing, Ruby. Thank you. I'm so glad to see that you're already signed up. How phenomenal. Okay, so I just want to make sure that Irfan's question is answered in the best way that I can. So this certificate you will get for the 35-28, right? So that's the 3 courses, the 18 weeks, the instructor, all of that. If you choose to take an industry exam, that's a separate fee and a separate process. But the point that I want to make today is that you get prepared for many of those industry exams in this certificate. So when you're comparing other certificates that you might be interested in, you want to look and say, are these aligned with an industry exam? Do I want to take that exam, right? So this is all kind of a part of the decision-making process. Awesome. Okay. So it has been so wonderful to virtually be with all of you today. I am so impressed with all these questions, and making a change in your career is incredibly emotional and it can be very hard. And you guys are all here today. You took the first or the second or the third step by just being in this room and asking these questions and finding out more information. So I'm very proud of all of you. And I hope that we see you in a Harvard Pathstream certificate program in the future. All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. And we will hopefully see you all soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.